Good morning and welcome back to Morning Mumbles with Donnie DD214. It's been probably 3 or 4 months since I've recorded. Maybe not that long, but it's definitely been a while. Just been working, and sorry about the glare. Hopefully that'll clear up in a second. Anyways, you know me, I like to talk about a variety of different topics, everything under the sun. Today I wanted to discuss a book that I'm listening to, an audiobook, and it's called Trading in the Zone. So it has a lot to do not only with stock trading, maybe crypto trading, but also it can have some positive aspects to your life. One of the big things that the book, so I'm only on like chapter 5 right now, but one of the things that they're really talking about is how winners continuously like stay in the flow state, right? But it's not just continuous winners, because anybody can get good market data or just get lucky and make, win after win after win. It's kind of how you take your losses. Cut your losses short. Try to catch them as fast as possible, but let your winners run. Kind of that mentality. But at the end of the day, it's not even really about that. It's about how you take your wins and your losses. So your wins, obviously, you're going to be riding on a state of euphoria, but you got to remember that that's not always going to be the case. So when you can objectively look at it kind of more as a pleasant game, right? Although we know it's money based. So that's the thing that gets a lot of people, is that it's emotional. And I'm trying to listen to this book to change my state of mind based on, again, it's not all about, winning way more than the market. It's really about how you perceive and how you can continue to make good decisions on your investments, right? So, being able to see an opportunity, anyone can do that. It either wins or it loses. You may see value in something that someone else doesn't see. However, when you take that loss, can you cut it short? Or even if you take a big loss because things happen overnight. I had one trade last week. Again, this is a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not take anything I say literally. This is only for pure entertainment value. So I had a trade like a week or two ago that was a long-term trade. It wasn't a trade. It was more of a long-term hold. I did like 3 or 4 months. The stock was up 60%. Well, they went into earnings, and everything that had that 60% win now became like a 10% negative. It dropped 40% overnight, which was crazy, because they had decent earnings. But I'm not even going to explain the ticker. If you could probably figure it out. Anyways, I have conviction in that stock because I think that it's completely undervalued. And again, not financial advice. I'll just say it's the trade desk. Anyways, I doubled down and got more. So I think long term that's a good hold. And normally I'm not going to sit here and say that I wasn't upset about it, but I learned to move on. There's a statement or an idea that a lot of people use in like mindset coaching is focus on the things that you can control. Well, let's be realistic. The market, no matter how smart you are, is some sort of gambling, because even with great news, you see great stocks dump. And so, being able to sometimes take that loss, again, let your winners run and cut your losers. So even if you have a 50% success rate, or even a 40, you could have a 20% success rate. If your winners are huge winners and you cut your losses at like 3% each trade, which some people do, and some tips to do that we can do another day, but stop losses, trailing stop loss, market, stop losses, trailing stops, all those fun stuff. It depends on your brokerage what they call it, but a lot of those things can be automated. So we can talk about that on another day. Anyways, back to the main topic. The only thing I really wanted to discuss today is maybe listening to a book like Trading in the Zone or something like that with mindset. It doesn't only help with your trading or your stock investments, investments in general, but it can also help with your overall mindset when you realize like you're not going to win everything. And again, it's about having more wins generally than losses. And at that point in time, learning to cut your losses when they, you know, even at the beginning. There's a lot of tips and tricks that we can go over. This is probably my first stock trading advice or mindset coaching or whatever you want to call it. But learning to, again, take these steps and utilize them not only in your investment life, but also in your real life, you know, because again, you're not going to win everything, even when you get a slight loss. You know, learning to accept that, say, again, I've said this in another video, but it's not really, you don't have to look at something as a loss or a mistake or something like that. Look at it as a learning experience. We're human, we're prone to error, we're not perfect, we're not God. So at the end of the day, we can only take what we've learned, try to do better, and realize the market is not necessarily against you. The market is an inanimate object. It's really just, it is somewhat gambling. Like, obviously you can take, you know, get as much data as you want and learn different technical analysis, fundamental analysis, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it moves on market sentiment and big money. So get in when you can, get out when you can. So anyways, I hope you have a good Monday, and hopefully I can start recording again. Let me know if you like this. Give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, then don't give it a thumbs up. But anyways, have a good day.